What's up everybody? Still tired as anything after being awake all night watching the first round of the Rugby Championship, but how bloody good is it? The first game of the round was an absolute flogging to the Wallabies at the hands of the Springboks. I expected them to lose, but not as badly as they did. I need to say, Peter Steph du Toit, what an absolute class performance as a flanker. Anyone who plays on the flank, go back through and watch his games. First, second and third efforts for the entire 80 minutes. He was relentless to the Wallabies. The Springboks' attacking style was constantly coming around the corner, looking to create overlaps against the Wallabies. Du Toit was absolutely leading the charge here, popping up on both sides of the field, and when he would join the attacking line, there was often a 1 or 2 man overlap on the edges. Really underrated performance, and to top this off, he made 14 carries. He looks like he's just renewed his rugby career and will be instrumental for the Boks. Statistically, the Springboks dominated the Wallabies in every area of the game, and you could see it on TV. It felt like the Wallabies had hardly any ball, and most disappointingly, the ill disciplines continued on to 2023. Now, this has been a common trend for the Wallabies over the last few years. 2 yellow cards, 2 penalty tries, and a 13-3 penalty count. We've got to be better. Both teams are really trying to move the ball laterally, and the Springboks managed to get around the Wallabies on so many occasions. Now, a big factor for this, well, there's 2 things. Marnie Libok, excellent decision making, but Van Staden and Esterhuizen absolutely busted through the middle of the Wallabies, tore them apart through the middle of the field. Now just checking, the official stats have them both at 5 tackle busts each, but it looked like a hell of a lot more in real time. 12 clean line breaks, almost impossible not to leak any points with so many attacking opportunities for the Boks. Honestly, scary stuff. For every other country watching on, the Springboks put in a dominant performance against a decent Australian side. I think the Wallabies will be pretty stoked they're not heading over to New Zealand after that game and should be looking for a pretty big bounce back against the Pumas, who are also looking for a bounce back after getting 7 tries put on them against the All Blacks. Their first half was simply outstanding and there was a lot to like about the All Blacks performance, but for me, Jordie Barrett at inside centre was phenomenal. He just brings so many different elements to the attacking line, and I think we could be looking at the best number 12 at this Rugby World Cup. The way he can square the hips up of a defensive line before dishing the ball is exactly how the outside backs for New Zealand, and especially Rieko Ioane, find themselves in so much space. And the fact he's a bloody strong ball carrier. His individual stats were also pretty impressive. He was the top tackler for the All Blacks, had a couple of offloads, and was second in the carries count. After that performance, you'd think he's all but locked in as the number 12 for the All Blacks heading into the World Cup. Another big talking point from this game was Damian McKenzie. For me, his game was pretty up and down, and if I was him though, I'd be buying a lotto ticket after saving that charge down try 30 seconds into the game. Now, I had a feeling about this in my preview last week, and it was pretty majestic to watch when Damian McKenzie dropped to fullback and Richie Mo'unga slotted into the fly half position. It looked really hard for Argentina to defend all the backdoor balls Richie Mo'unga was giving to Damian McKenzie with his speed and playmaking ability. That'll definitely be a tough call for Ian Foster on who to play against the Springboks. Los Pumas didn't really do too much wrong, and statistically, typical Michael Cheika, there wasn't too much difference between the sides. They just never really found their rhythm, and the one area the All Blacks did dominate them in was the scrum, and in key moments they put a lot of pressure on Argentina, and I think that's where the biggest gap in the game was found. On that though, one thing I will say is the All Blacks didn't show that ruthless nature they were known so well for before Ian Foster. They really took their foot off the pedal in the second half, which is a worrying sign for fans. Not as worrying as Wallabies fans watching the Springboks, but you get my point. I'm pretty sure one of these rugby talk shows, I think it was The Breakdown, said they'd be tempted to bench Ardie Savea and drop Sam Cane. Both were enormous for the All Blacks on Sunday morning and really repaid the faith Ian Foster showed in them. Definitely think we're in for 2 close games this weekend. I'll be sure to post up a preview. Stay tuned for that one, and thanks for watching.